Well, everybody, welcome to another Lightning Strikes Twice, the hyper condensed, smaller version of our normally sized lightning rounds. Um, we do a topic apiece. Nobody knows the other person's topic, and we got 5 minutes to discuss. It's a lot of fun. I think you'll like it. Um,
All
yeah.
right. Well, let's start it off with a little tomfoolery slash philosophy, if you
Okay.
will. A little blend of the two. My question is zero a number?
Ooh. Well, kind of. I mean, numbers are sort of like representative of numerical values. So zero would, I mean, it doesn't have any weight, so to speak, but it's
Right.
still a position on a numerical scale. So I guess it would be a number.
I mean,
Uh,
it's akin to like I think people that don't consider zero to be a number are the same people that think black is not a color.
yeah, yeah,
like
exactly.
like there's an argument to be made for it, sure, and it does make sense, but it is also like it has all the features that define other things as color.
Well, yeah, I mean, in fact, the creation of zero in mathematics was super significant.
Mhm.
Wasn't it the Arabs that created that? I don't remember. I wasn't there. But
Oh, great, thanks. Before that we had everything, and now we have zero.
well, in terms of programming, like it's significant. It like a null value for something.
Right.
It's important to have that. Well, in fact, in programming, there's zero and there's null. So to make it even more confusing,
What?
um, I mean, basically, zero is the midpoint between positive numbers and negative numbers. So, is it a number? Well, I guess the question would have to be like, what makes a number be a number? Um,
Yeah, and I think I had a math professor once argue that zero is not a number because it does not carry any numerical value. Um, but I mean, like,
yeah.
and it
Well,
and it also
okay.
acts weird, right? Like if you multiply or divide anything by zero, it does like it breaks the universe.
This is true. And I guess I could see the argument in that subtracting zero by zero or adding zero to zero, um, you end up with the exact same number. But then again, multiplication does similar things, like multiplying by one.
Mhm.
Um, you get the same number. So is one a number? you know, it.
Huh. Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of
Well, I
kind of
mean,
like
there's a
the.
good argument for getting rid of the penny, right? So
oh man,
maybe
well,
one isn't a number either.
the US spends more money on pennies than yeah, it's kind of crazy. Um I yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know. My lean would be to consider it a number. Uh,
hmm
the question is interesting. It's certainly not like important or anything, but
Yeah.
the philosophy behind like whether or not zero should be considered a number uh, is I don't know. Like I think it becomes more significant when you get into like higher levels of math. Uh,
hmm
which is I don't know, like where eagles dare because like I barely got through calculus, barely, um, and only the bare minimum of calculus that I needed. Uh,
well,
so I kind of don't remember much, but I do remember these like derivatives and stuff, and there was a little zero and a little one. Like you draw these like complex things, and I don't know, but their zero is quite significant.
it's still a significant value, and if you assign a number to a variable, you can assign a zero to it, which is really important. Um well, maybe the question of like whether zero is a number is kind of akin to whether Pluto is a planet.
Yeah.
Like, what makes a planet a planet? Because I mean, Pluto is kind of planetoidy. Like,
Yeah, I do think. I mean, that would be a whole other topic, but I do consider Pluto a planet.
well, I do too, simply on the basis that it has a moon.
Hmm.
Like, for something to have a moon makes it a planet, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
the moon.
Maybe it's small, but I mean, what is small and what is big on a cosmic scale? And in terms of numbers, what is small and what is big? And honestly, I would argue zero is the most important number. Oh shit, mic drop. Holy
Nice.
shit.
I was just about to say, you know what, like what is useless though is 0.0. Like just say
Zero
zero.
point
Come on.
zero. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, okay, well, it's on to my topic.
And
And I
significant
too,
figures, blah 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 blah.
I too have kind of like a dual uh category idea.
Uh,
Kind of politics, kind of public health and safety, I guess. Um, ish. So the question is, why is there a registry for sex offenders, but none for any other crime?
that's a good question. Um, I have a few layers of problems with this. So like there's different levels of sex offense, and um, having seen the court system between a man and a woman in a domestic disagreement, let's say the odds are stacked against men
Oh yeah.
heavily. So, how many of these sex offenders are really like legit sex offenders?
Well, well, I mean, for one, like the biggest problem I have with it, well, is that there is a very selective registry. Like, oh, we're just picking on these people. The second thing is that it's very easy to get on that list. Like, if you
Right, right.
urinate in public, you could potentially be a
Yeah.
sex offender
But
because you're taking a leak.
here's why they only do it with this one, and this is the thing that bugs me, is that there are, I think, three tiers, and like tier three is likely to reoffend. And it's like, well, wait a minute. If you haven't rehabilitated them during their time in jail or prison or whatever, um, shouldn't there be a way to be like, we've evaluated you and we think you're just going to do it again, so you have to stay until like
Uh,
you've changed your ways.
that's a
No, they
good
just put them
point.
back out on the street and say, well, here's a safety warning, so there you go.
And then, well,
Like,
and a
why
warning
why
you.
don't you do that with murderers and stuff?
I would like
Because
that.
theoretically, once you've served your time, you've paid your penance,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
It,
Like,
it
you
it's
should
all the
be.
problem of like this likely to reoffend crap.
Well, you're right. You're absolutely right. Like, whoa, wait a minute. If like, I don't know, say like firefighters came to put out a fire, and they didn't completely put it out. Well, there's still a little bit of embers smoldering there, but I guess our work here is done. Off we go. Like, wait, but the fire could come back again. Why are you giving up so soon? Yeah, I guess the third problem I have with the registry for sex offenders is that, yes, while you had mentioned there are tiers, most people don't perceive it in a tiered system. They
No.
perceive it as all or nothing. Like, oh, that's a sex offender. And so no matter whether you urinated in public or sent yourself a selfie of your naked self at 14, or something like that, or whatever. I mean, you could do some heinous things. Like, it's all lumped into the same category in people's minds, where it's like everybody is equally evil no matter what. Oh, you're on the registry. You must be like the worst possible person in the world.
Well, and they're all assumed to be child molesters,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you
Well,
can
they
look
take
up
it.
the details and stuff, like if like if you want to put that much time and effort into it, but people usually don't.
No.
Uh, and if I'm not mistaken, you're on it forever.
Yeah,
Isn't that right?
I think so. Yeah.
How fucked up is that?
Whereas, like, if you murder somebody, you're pretty much like out of it after a certain amount of time.
Yeah, like the all-time worst thing you can do to people has some of the most lenient sentence. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
But just like, I don't know, have to really pee really bad and take a piss near a school, and boom, you're marked for life.
So I've heard that it's not illegal to pee in public in Germany. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Many
as
countries, actually, France
yeah.
too. Yeah.
And that reminds me to our awesome episode on public urination, which everyone should watch.
Yeah.
That's so fucking funny.
Oh yeah. Well, and it goes back to this whole Puritan thing of like sex is bad and you seeing your naked body is bad. Like, oh, cover up,
Oh,
oh
the
my
kids
God,
are gonna see a penis. Oh my
I
god.
know, or tits or something like, oh my God. Oh,
Yeah.
I I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense. And I think this is why we have this registry, is because people are so emotionally involved in sex for some reason. I
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's time.
Wow, that's a good topic.
I think we might need to revisit that, and we might actually have a guest for that one.
Aha.
So yeah, somebody
Interesting.
going through similar or related.
Weird to have them in the dark with their voice like this.
No, 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 no. We won't have to disguise anybody's voice, so that's good. Hmm. But yeah, that's good. I love to hear people's comments on both of these topics down there.
Yeah.
Mathematicians talking about the significance of zero, and people talking about sex offender registry. Like, oh man, I have
That was a
such a problem.
slamming 10 minutes right there.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, like please leave some comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And come back next week for Lightning Strikes twice.
Ooh, this was number 13.
Ooh.
Unlucky 13. Crazy that it's dark at both of our places.
What? It's because we're both in Tacoma.
Yeah, I know. It's so not the norm, though. All right. Well,
13 is
enjoy.
good luck in France, by the way.
All right. Well, see everybody next time.